Hello and welcome to the Cryptocurrency News channel. This is the weekend outlook and the TAFA and chart analysis for March 11th, 2022. Now, the thing is, right now, I am kind of like pretty much neutral going into the weekend right now, but there might be one slight glint of hope for the markets and Bitcoin overall. And that actually comes from the news that OPEC might be willing to raise its production limits basically by a little bit, and they're going to ramp up production faster than they actually thought. The UAE was one of the last holdouts, and it seems like they have actually agreed. And since they've agreed, it's likely that the 900-pound gorilla in the room, the Saudis, will actually agree as well. So we might get a little bit of oil price relief, and that will actually reflect in the general economy. If that happens, I expect the price to go up. How much? I'm not really sure. Would it pass 50,000? Probably not, but hopefully we can get into the 45,000 region sometime next week. I think that is a distinct possibility depending on how the negotiations with OPEC actually goes. Yes, OPEC is the oil cartel, and they can actually ramp up productions to relieve a little bit of stress. Like the actual production within the United States itself, it's going to take a little while to ramp up if we do so. But OPEC is more of an immediate solution for this problem. The war in Ukraine does not seem to be resolving anytime soon, so that's kind of like the hope we have. This is the 1 month chart right now, and as you can see, the bottoms have actually been going up since the minimum, but the tops really haven't. And what's actually happening right now is the oscillations are becoming smaller and smaller. I think you can see that even more clearly from the 3-month graph, because essentially, like all the way from January 20th, we've been at pretty much even right here. But as you can see, the first bump was the biggest, the second one was smaller, and the third one's even smaller, and we are evening out more and more along this $38,000 line. Now, sometimes that can actually mean we're going to go up very, very quickly one way or the other, but I don't actually think so. I think this just means we're going to be swinging around this 39,000 area for quite a while. If you actually look at the volume down here, it's actually been about the same this entire time. And if you actually look at the volume compared to, let's say, in December, the volume is actually slightly greater in December. So the interest in volume is actually higher than it was at the end of the year last year right now. Just like on average, not just on these spike days, but on average. You can see here, like there's just more red and green lines down here, and there's more people buying and selling in. And therefore, I do actually think we have actually capitulated around this area and this area. I don't know if the altcoins have capitulated yet, but I do actually believe Bitcoin has actually capitulated. And if you really look at it, yes, the tops are going down, but the bottoms are going up. They should meet somewhere around $39,000 or $40,000, and I expect it to stay there unless the uncertainty of the war blows over. There is an interest rate hike probably coming next week, 25 basis points. I do believe people will expect it. That might temporarily bring us down to about $37,000 or so. But after that, I do expect us to go around 38, 39. There can be a pretty good choice to DCA in when the Fed actually makes that announcement, or right before the Fed makes that announcement. And that announcement is going to be the 15th or the 16th on that FOMC meeting. And I am fairly certain the Fed will actually raise interest rates. If you actually look at the technicals right now, it is a very, very strong sell. We're at $38,800. That is below the EMA and the SMAs for the 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 100. The 50 EMA is well below the 200 EMA, so we're not turning around anytime soon. The oscillators do actually also say sell, but generally, like, all of these are pretty much neutral. The average directional index is very low, which means there's not a defined direction for this. The momentum is a sell, so is the MACD level, but those can change from day to day. So I would say the oscillators are more or less neutral. The exponential moving average everything is telling you to sell. But right now, I'm actually pretty neutral to maybe slightly positive because of that OPEC news that they actually might raise production soon. And I think it's like 400,000 barrels, which will help us relieve it. I think 400,000 barrels is about what we actually need to make up from the deficits from Russia, which we've actually banned. There are going to be harsher sanctions on Russia, so the global economy is going to be in turmoil for a while, but that may not be too bad for Bitcoin as it is for something like the stock market. So right now, because of that OPEC news, I am slightly bullish, but the charts are actually pretty bearish for right now. Once again, if you actually see the commodity channel index or the stochastic or the RSI go to oversold, that is a time to buy, but right now they are not oversold. On the weekly, all of them are actually neutral as well, all the oscillating signals, and the moving averages all the way down to the 50 are actually sell. So it's in pretty strong sell territory. We're not anywhere close to buy territory right now. Once again, if the oscillators turn, I would actually consider buying a little bit, but right now it is like hold territory for me, not sell, not buy territory, because I feel like it could go down a little bit more, especially with the interest rate announcement next week. On the monthly, the oscillators are neutral once again, and the moving averages, I only really look at the 10. It is still at a sell right now. It doesn't seem to be turning around anytime soon, unless that oil news actually comes through. We could actually get the 10 switching on the oil news, but that's probably not long term. I can see us going up to around 45 if OPEC increases production, but not much more than 45. And I think there is a dampening on it right now with the inflation rate hike. After next week and the inflation rate hike, I do actually believe it'll actually start to rise a little bit as that fear ends. And I think there'll be more like guidance right now. I do think the Fed's going to raise it by 25 basis points, but then I think they're going to say that we're not going to raise it by that. We're not going to raise it that many times this year due to the upcoming war. Now that sucks for controlling inflation, but that will actually bring some more confidence into the market and maybe buy us some time until this actual war resolves. So going into the weekend, I am slightly positive right now because of the possible oil news that the OPEC's going to produce more. If that happens, I do expect a bullish sentiment. So that's my outlook going into the weekend. Likely like and subscribe, hit that bell notifications button, and I will see you guys later.